Hello, everybody, and sorry about the delay there. I used the wrong stream key because this is my full-time job. Thank you so much for joining us here, whether you're live or watching on demand. If you are live, please don't hesitate to say hi in chat. It's always great to hear where you're from or what you want to learn from something like this today. Of course, if you have questions as we're going through, please don't hesitate to share them with us. We're coming live from Darawal country, and I'm just going to quickly introduce our guest, Ramesh, who is coming live from Malaysia. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good, Flynn. Good to be back. Thank
And
you for having me.
I promise we're actually live this time. So yeah, Dark Hours in chat is telling me that we're good to go. So yeah, it's wonderful to be back with you. It's been way too long since we've done a live stream here on Adobe Live. I've mentioned before that I always learn at least one thing from you, and I've been doing this for a very, very long time. So very excited for anyone that isn't familiar with you, or those that are. I'm sure they already know that they're gonna pick up a few things. Perhaps for those who aren't familiar with you, do you want to introduce yourself, maybe talk a little bit about who you are and what you do before we get stuck in to everything we're going to learn today?
Sure. So my name is Ramesh. Like Flynn said, I'm from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, born and raised here. My primary job, I'm a senior art director in a company called Mind Valley. And on the side, I do a lot of like exploration through my Instagram. And talking about Instagram, I'm gonna just drag it to the screen. Hopefully you guys can see it. So this
Yeah.
is my profile. I love exploring many different mediums of art, portraying Hindu gods in a many different perspective. I have a lot of questions being asked as well, like how is that possible that you do this, right? So it's all about how our imagination works. And once you have your imagination, you need to project it to show to people how you do it. You do it through AI, to Photoshop, retouch, and show them, and make things even move so that you can tell the entire story. So that's what I've been doing. Lately, the engagement is going crazy, and I am super grateful for that, all because of Photoshop and AI and all that, for letting me tell my story. I think when it comes to Ramesh, people know I love telling stories for my caption and everything. So yeah, if you haven't followed, do follow me and Flynn, as, of course. Just check out our work. You'll be, again, mind blown with all the things that Photoshop can do. Yeah.
Yeah, don't follow me. Definitely follow. Far better content in there. Yeah, that is right. Yeah, so we're actually live on Behance and also YouTube. So we'll keep an eye on both chats. So wherever you are, if you've got any questions as we go along, please let us know. But yeah, this is great. So is this image something like stock or something like that? Is it
Yeah.
AI? I feel like I have to ask before. What is it? We don't
Okay,
know
so this
anymore.
is actually a generated image. Again, the
Right.
reason why I bring it up is because one of the things that I think I remember Flynn, when Flynn said, Ramesh, let's jump on a stream. Let's talk about the fundamental basic tools that we use to retouch images. So I think it's important for us to know, even though I'm sure all of you viewers out there who's watching very into AI, it's important to know that you need to have the control to adjust things, right? Like, for example, do not just take 100% from AI and go like, oh, I did this, or this, I'm going to use this for a backdrop. Then it doesn't mean anything, isn't it? As an artist or photographer, what is your contribution? We can't just be a person who just put in prompt. So what do you do after? So it's important. So in here, just imagine this is not AI generated image, okay?
Yeah.
Imagine this is the photo taken by you when you went for a vacation. And then again, I'm gonna start off. I have a lot of, as usual, I have a lot of things to share. We will gradually go learning all the basic tools of retouch, and I'll let you know why it's important. Even though you are probably a king in AI, you still need to come back to Photoshop to retouch. For example, the imagery that we have here is a beautiful scenery. We have like cloudy mountains, da da da. But if you guys notice, the colors isn't that great, right? It's dull. For example, if I would, I mean, imagine you save out all your money and you go there, this is what you get, right? You wanna
The
have
photos
something.
are never as good as the live experience, but yeah,
Oh,
I
yes,
totally know what you mean.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Right? So you got this, and then you come back home, you go like, how am I going to print this and hang it to my on my wall? So it's important to also know that if you have anything that you want to edit, always make sure either you convert it to smart object or create a new layer. As you all know, do not destroy the original image because at one point you will need it. So what kind of adjustment can we do to this, right? Like for example, we know it's low exposure, right? It's dark, it's not vibrant enough. So what are the things that we can do to just create more colors? Again, these are my favorite tools that I want to explain today. Right under layer, normal, darken, multiply, color burn. These are the things that we're going to learn today. This will create magic, and we're going to see that today. And if you are into colors, you want to enhance colors, just go underneath here, particular layer. You can see a small little circle split into two. And then you can get to see hue and saturation, color balance, everything's here. Hue and saturation is something that you guys want to click in order to create a vibrancy. For example, there's hue, saturation, lightness, right? So if I increase the hue, you can see now it looks like, I don't know, it's just probably a bit too much. You want to reduce. Again, the reason why I'm showing you guys like, oh, I can reduce, increase, these are the things probably you will need a longer time if you want to adjust through AI. Correct or not?
Right.
You probably generate this. Yeah. And then you like, oh, no, it's not vibrant enough. And then probably you put in another prompt saying that make it vibrant, and probably give you this. And you're like, no, it doesn't make sense. Now you know the judgment, isn't it? You know, oh, this is bad. No, reduce. And then what happens here? You are taking your time to adjust. Time is money. And you want to get things fast. And that is the reason why I say even after you create an image in Photoshop, in any AI platform like Firefly, whatever not, you need to come back and adjust based on your realistic approach. Like, for example, this makes more sense, right? So that's that. And for example, things to remove and add. We know there is generative fill, which is like a God's gift, I would say, because it saves tons of people's time, especially artists like me who just go in there, want to remove stuff. For example, like I said, okay, let's say you got this image and then you go like, oh, I love this, but my mom was complaining she don't like these two floating stones. And how do you remove that? There are many ways to do this. I'm going to show you the quicker way. If you have no time, you want to go in there and adjust things, and I'll tell you the good and bad things about this as well. Okay. Right? For example, okay, I want to remove this particular two stones. I'm going to just highlight it that way together with the shadows, reflections, right? So, and I'm going to go up here. We all know this is the contextual bar. In case you don't know how to turn this on, go under window and turn on under contextual taskbar.
And it should be on by default. So unless you've turned it off, it'll probably be there. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you can pin this here forever. You always take care. Sometimes I love to move things around because I want to zoom in. I'm like, oh no, it's blocking my way. So up to you. And then because this is highlighted, I want to remove. I just go to generative field. I can say remove, or I can even press generate without saying anything. You probably know what to do. Now what happens is that sometimes it will just replace it with another two stones. So you gotta try and see. So I want to say remove. And I'll tell you things that is tricky when it comes to AI and adjusting it manually, right? So now we're doing this. Let's see what happened to the stone.
And I'll also mention to people as well, if it's been a while since you've done this, Generative Expand and also Generative Fill have been upscaled quite a lot, I think, since the 2026 update. Yeah. So we used to have an issue where you kind of expand out. You had to do it very, very slowly because each time you did it, it would generate only a certain amount of pixels. It was kind of like restricted. Now you're getting like pretty high res, like much more high res stuff, which is good. Yeah. Just much nicer. Yeah.
And then, okay, let's see before and after. So it's removed, right? But let's zoom in and see if you're very particular when it comes to details. Let's zoom in. Okay, this is before and after. What are the things that have changed? The structure of the stone is affected, right? So it's important to know how much edit can I do to still maintain the originality of the image, because AI can get smarter. They probably will be like, oh, you know what? See, even though I highlighted here, it removed this part of the stone. So why manual fixing is important is that I can still go in here. Let's turn this on back. Can you see the masking here? So I can go in here and press B for brush. So I'll reduce my brush size. Okay, I can go in here and I can undo stuff. For example, press 2. Okay, so if you're new to masking, you don't know which one is like to erase or remove, just switch on X to see the color palette. If you're using brush, if it's on black, means you are going to remove. In order to bring back, you need to switch to white. All right. So we're gonna go in here and bring remove. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm bringing back the original stone curve
I
area
see. Yeah.
because again, like I said, you can be very particular. It's important to know these details because you don't want to let AI just like get creative by itself. You need to be in control. Something that I've been sharing on my Photoshop workshop that I've been doing is that you can do whatever in AI, but you still bring back, make it your own. Like you have the control rather than they go in there and create their own version of it. So
Yeah, it's a really good point. And also, there's a question from Lyra in chat. Are you using Adobe Firefly models for AI generation or something like Nano Banana?
right now I'm using Firefly. I am a person who like to create image myself, like which we're gonna try out tomorrow. So I love to create imagery by myself. But if I were to create anything, I use Firefly, Nano Banana as well. But like I said, I want to be more in control. A part of my job is also to create something from scratch because we do a lot of like visual arts and everything. But yeah, it's Firefly most of the time.
Cool.
Okay, that's that. And then there you go. Then we have all these colors. We adjust the stone according to what I want, right? So that's one example. Next, you're gonna jump to another building, to another scenery. This is also a generated image using Firefly. And if you're wondering, what are the things that I can do in this? Like, for example, let's say you are an editorial person, like you have something to write about London landscape and whatever not. And then you notice that, I love the city, but I'm not sure about the sunset. Is there a way to go in there and retouch it? Okay, I'm gonna quickly show you guys what I do last time. Okay, so
Okay.
you know how far we have come. So usually what I do is I replicate and then I would select the building like this. Okay, the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to show you how technology have changed and what you can control and whatnot. For example, okay, let's say I've selected this. I have one more building here, which I'm gonna select. Okay, cool. So let me mask it. Mask it meaning if I remove the background image because I put it as a backup. So, okay, so this I'll bring back later, the humans. I will dump in another sky behind and I'll
Right.
adjust one by one. I'll find another sky. Oh, doesn't make sense. Oh, I have to change the entire image and so it takes a longer time. But in Photoshop itself, you can change the sky within a second. So how to do that? All you have to do is, again, we are in this stream, you learn how to retouch throughout all the different type of material and all that. So you go to image, under edit, there will be a function called sky replacement. So once you press that, so what happened is that it will know, see, I did not even mask. Remember, I removed my earlier mask and I can adjust the sky according to the library that I already have, which comes together in Photoshop. So I can choose what sky I want. I want to add in rainbow, this kind of sky. The one I use a lot in my manipulation would be this one. In case you're following me and you want like stormy style, you can have this. Notice one thing, right? Okay, so I've changed this. And then I click OK. It did not touch my image. Okay, it's safe. It creates its own folder called Sky Replacement Group, which everything is in there. And what's that mean is that, let me bring down the properties. In here, they already mask for you, and they even give some foreign lighting. For example, you, again, like I said, you're always in control. You go in here, you want to show and hide and see. Can you see that's the adjustment that's been done? Let me zoom in here. So that's that. That's the adjustment that's done. Even the sky, once you zoom, okay. So like I said, AI will get creative. For example, the clock is now
Yeah.
by the mask.
It's made the clock transparent. Yeah, great.
Yeah. So again, you are in control, which means you can go back to the sky here, press B, and bring back, go in here. I know what's happening. And okay, I'm erasing. I'm supposed to bring back the original color. There you go, right? Because like I said, you can't be like, oh, okay, I think that's fine, that's AI. No, it doesn't work. You know it's not perfect. So go in there and adjust. There's more things can be done. For example, you already have it here. And you like, I'm not sure about the color balance. Okay, fine. Go underneath here, look for color balance. Now, the color balance is right up here. You want to mask just the folder underneath. So you press on alternate. Okay, now you bring back the properties over here, and now you can go crazy. Like whatever color that you do not, it does not touch the buildings and whatever, just a subtle ones. Don't go drastic, because it will affect the coloring of the buildings as well, isn't it? Right now, if I do too purplish, the purple color should also reflect on the building. So adjust accordingly. The reason why I'm showing you guys this is because you are in control. AI is there to help you, not to do the entire job for you.
Yeah.
So it's important to know that. So that's that. And then clean up. For example, again, this is Adobe Firefly. Let's say you are a art director, you got this shot, and then you're like, oh, cool, it given me more than I need. And we know it's balance. Like we all know, like can judge what's good and bad. And you go like, that splash all over the cheese that's jumping out from the burger, the sauce. Is there a way for me to like clean up manually rather than AI? Because AI can go in there and probably change few details in it.
It looks like a wet burger.
Yeah. Okay.
Soggy burger.
Yeah, I can even taste it how it looks like.
Yeah.
So in order to do adjustment, there are many ways. Like I said, right? You go in here and how we normally do, we highlight like this, and then we do all these little details. And what if you are a manual person? You like, what? But I want to retouch it myself. So that's when clone stamping helps. So I'm gonna just make this a new image. I am gonna now when you press S, which is clone stamp, which is here, all the shortcuts you need to know, you get to see it at the side here. JJJ, for B is brush, S is stamp, eraser is E, right? So S for stamp, and then in order to remove certain details, like for example, you don't want, what, AI, I can handle this myself. For example, I want to remove this particular sauce. How do you remove? There are many ways. I'm going to show you. You can find a space where very close to this. Imagine if I remove this, what is the closest background that you should have, which is at the bottom here. So let's go in here. Press alternate. It will ask for your source. So right now it changes, right? The cursor. So it's asking for source, which I'm going to go right underneath here, making my brush slightly smaller. And you can start seeing that it's like, oh, this is the background of this. You're going to just take and highlight it that way, right? You sort of like, that's cool enough. Like, for example, if I were to use AI, it probably will give an extra radius, or maybe it will create another splash, which I know need, like I need to send this to my creative director as soon as possible. I have no time to do this, right? That. And then you go in here. What are other retouch can be done? For example, I can use generative fill to just highlight this and remove. Or again, you can do manual work. You can color pick here. Again, I'm showing a manual where I color pick here, create new layer. I go in here, I color it myself. There's always a beauty thing when you do this. I can tell you, again, I've been using it for 25 years. The feeling of going there and retouch and then color pick the closest here so that I can paint it here. It feels so complete, right? Like I own this. It's not okay, even though the imagery was created in this one, but when I do this, like for example, can you see it's like that. I did not use AI, I just brush it myself.
Yeah.
It gives that satisfaction of owning it. So that ownership feeling is important if you're a creator.
And it's also, as you were saying, like you in this scenario, you've got to get to your creative director, right? Like what happens if your creative director says, oh, can you do this? Like it's kind of the problem with, I've found in areas that I get into, like web design, where I can't code. If I'm using a template that doesn't allow for the thing the client might want, what do we do? Do you have to say, hey, I can't do that? Or do you say, hey, we're going to have to rebuild the website from scratch? Because that's kind of not fair either, because suddenly they want a video embedded in a website that doesn't allow for video embedding or something. Stuff like that, you know, everything works really well until the second you need something changed and you don't have the agency to do so. So that's why being able to do this sort of stuff is just still so valuable.
And also think of the worst scenario. All of a sudden, the government's going like, you know what? AI has been creating a havoc. We're gonna shut down all AI. Just imagine that.
Right.
And you go like, oh no, I cannot even remove an item in my picture, a pimple, or remove a dust on the surface of my product. You still rely on AI. That's why I said it's super important to know, balance it out. AI, you take it as your assistant. It will give you what you need in a way that it can be too perfect, which probably not something that you want. You want to have that, I call it realistic or native style, not so much of like, you know, intense, perfect image. So yeah, it's super important to know that. And again, if you want to use AI, you can, but okay, for example, which I'm going to show you here, I am going to remove this. I can just highlight this part over here and I like remove. I hope you don't create creative, even though it's too close to this edge. Sometimes what happens is that you'll be like, oh, I guess maybe even this you want to remove, but no. But let's see what it does, right? So I'm gonna just create generative fill without saying anything. Let's see what I got.
Yeah.
So it's super important to know. That's why when Flyn said about retouch, and I was like, yes, this is what I've been doing all this while. To know that the ownership is super important. So if you are someone who's new, you're into AI and stuff, you know that, yes, there's all the tools in the world to create all the imagery that you need, but to retouch, you need Photoshop to just go in there and even the smallest details, right? Because you can even say this, like for example, let me see, Ramesh, but then I can even ask AI to remove things if I want. Fine. Now you tell AI to remove this particular area.
Right. Yeah.
You know, you're like, no, do not. Okay, let's say I remove the chili. Probably you remove all the chili with the splashes. No, right? It takes time. Okay, even if you say, no, I have an AI to do that, what happens is that it takes up time and money. You subscribe to it, right? So it's important to know, okay, you have the bare minimum, all the things in there, go in there and retouch. So let's see what you have done for me. So like I said, it get creative. Right? It clean up even this part, which I did not say. Right? So let's see.
So it's going outside the area that you've, okay.
Yeah. Like for example, when I selected the entire thing, I did not even highlight it here. I highlighted bottom here. Can you see there's actually a radius? Because I click on the mask to see the radius that I've taken.
And that's not what you selected, right? You selected, so it's only kind of feathering it to blend it. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, fine. Even if they already created for me, like I said, I can go in here and remove and add what I need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my flow 100%. Go in here and bring back all the details that I want. There you go. Right? I just need that detail. I don't want it to be too clean. And then go in here and I just brush even more details. I just need that. Without it, then it looks like, you know, clean. So which I don't want to. Yeah. So if you are a creative director, senior art director who are into AI, know that this tool helps to make sure that you achieve your goal. Yet it maintains the originality. It does not remove. Yep. Next, cool robot. Any idea what I'm gonna do with this robot? Okay, so now the robot is in white, mainly white plastic, and it has a black intersection in between. Things, for example, let's say I'm now pitching this idea to my boss saying that let's create a movie, iRobot Part 3 or whatever not. And then he go like, Oh, pretty cool. But there's a few sentiments that probably involve. For example, the director said, I always wanted a light that is like red, sort of like how Iron Man is. We all know the power comes from the chest. Imagine he said, but I love having a flare here, and
Okay.
it would be great to have that. I mean, I can use AI, which I'm gonna try now and see if I can. Okay, just see. This is what I meant. AI versus Rames. So it will help. AI will help, but you get creative. I want to add flair. You maintain this particular detail, which is this one. I want to add in some flair. Let's see if it understands.
Okay.
Add lens. Just flair. Just add flair, and then you see what happens next.
Okay.
Probably this will be solved in the next maybe a year or 2 year, or I don't know, maybe even sooner. But I just want to show you guys something. Okay, do you notice something? It changes my entire
Yeah.
style robot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, don't do that. Like imagine this particular robot is prototyped and it's already in production. And
Yeah.
then I want to do a movie poster and I'm like, I need a flare. And you go like, no, bro, don't do that. So blending is important. If you guys notice in my earlier image that I showed, this blending is super important, right? So how are other things that can be done? What are things that can be done with these particular layers? I'm gonna bring in an image. Let me see. Okay, okay, so I have this, not these, I have another flare that I want to bring in. Here. So I have this flare, super huge.
So this is like a bit of stock or something that you have
Yes.
on file?
Yeah, this is actually a stock image of a flare, which I want to infuse in that on top of this without affecting anything. Like I don't want to touch the originality of that image, right? So again, blending is super important. How to remove a black background. Something that I've been sharing a lot of times in my stream is that always go in here and try out the blending mode. See what black does whenever we switch a different layer, right? So there you go. Can you see that? Black gone. So know that when it comes to screen, anything that is dark will be removed and whatever that is bright will be maintained. So let's see other treatments, like you can go in here, you get this and that. Okay, this is divide. Again, all of this will make sense when you are working on that a particular treatment.
Yeah.
For now, I am gonna just remove the black, but screen fits perfectly. So now all I have to do is take this and put the flare there without like modifying like this.
Yeah.
I just need a
You haven't
flare.
changed it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you see it looks real. Even though AI generated, or imagine I asked my DOP, director of photography, to take this image, yet as a person who needs to do that modification or alter to the image, I make sure I maintain that particular segment of the chest, which is that is the one, and then I can again. What are other things that I can do? I can even change the color, and how I do that by just pressing. Make sure that you're selecting the smart object. Control B, Command B, and then I can even adjust the color, right? So that it's close to that background that we have right now. It's like light blue. You can make that light blue as well. There you go, right? So, and all that is happening because of the color balance. So without it, let's say before and after, there you go. It's more real.
Yeah. It's a great example as well, like I think, of understanding, because you might, without that knowledge of how adjustments layers work and experience with it, then you might talk to your AI or whatever it is and say, hey, can you remove background? But you don't want to remove the background. You want it to blend, right?
Yeah.
So it's just understanding that terminology is so valuable, and that experience comes back. It starts coming back and becoming more handy because you have more of a vocabulary.
Yeah. So, if you ask as an artist who's been using Photoshop for such a long time, I still, even again, I'm not admitting that I did not generate an image. I do. I tell my storytelling faster in that way, but I nicky picky stuff. Like for example, if you watch my Instagram, there will be mainly two characters. Those are peacock and rooster. Even when they run, if a tiny bit of sand that's over a wing, which disturbs me, I'll drag it back in Photoshop and remove it.
Yeah.
Because it bothers me as an artist that it cannot relay what I want and it does not look as what I have imagined. So as a creator, I'll make sure that, we go in there, so that, and how do I say this? When I posted it, I feel like, this is not saying that, imagine you 100% use AI and you put it in. Do you really feel that you did it?
Right.
I have that
Yeah.
guiltiness. So yeah. Even the simplest hair that you probably take a Photoshop of a girl blowing hair dry, and then the hair swirls at the back, and then the swirls does not swirl according to what you have imagined. You
Yeah.
go in there, you warp, which let me see if I have that image. Okay, we're gonna move according to what I think is more realistic. So be in control, right? AI help you. I'm not saying no, but yeah. And then what other things can be done now that we are talking about retouch and all that? We can always duplicate stuff. I can always duplicate this and I put it, just put it at the side here just to create more lights, stuff like that. And then what if you want to change the overall color mood of the entire image? Color lookup is a must, right? So color lookup is like those Instagram filter that you guys add before posting it on Instagram. So we have that ready here, right underneath this particular, again, a circle with a partially half and black and white. Just go in here, look for color lookup. Once you press that, you will get a tons of different filters under property. Here, again, you can go crazy. You can even create your own 3D look. There's a way to do it. And then you can, again, this is good enough. Like for example, you want to have those eerie, danger mode, probably edgy amber works because it's in danger or something, and then reduce the light. Again, I am adjusting according to what I think works the best for me and the movie, let's say. Imagine now you generated this in like, give me a warm tone. You ask your AI tool to do it, and it probably give you this, or maybe different yellow. And you're like, no, don't reduce it, and probably give you like that. No.
Yeah.
And what happens there? Back and forth, fighting the AI, where else you can just, I can do this here. And then I feel like this is not yellow enough. Again, on top of this, bring back your color balance because it's the overall image is already on top here. And then you adjust accordingly, which you want, like those matrix green, or you want that blue tone, dark and whatever not. And then probably you'll be like thinking, I want to bring in those HDR. Well, again, you can do whatever you want. All you have to do is just make a duplicate. Again, like I said, you can make it a smart object. Because the interest of time, I want to make sure that I cover everything as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So under image, you can go under adjustment. There is two. Okay, I'm going to show you that two techniques. You can either use HDR toning or shadows and highlight. I'll show you the difference. So if I press on shadow and highlights, it does bring the HDR mode. So for example, this is preview right now, right? So this is before and this is after. If I adjust the shadows and highlights, cool. It's within my control. I can even go advanced by showing more of the options. You can go in here, talk about the black clip and white clip and whatever not, right? That's pretty cool. There's another one. It's called HDR toning. And just look at my screen. What does it say? For some reason, this HDR tone says, if you want HDR, you need to make sure that you merge all these layers. I'm not sure why it happens, but again, no worries. I still have the backup somewhere in my computer. I think because this, even the below here, the layer 0 will get vanished. Let's see what it does. So you click yes. So this is what you get. You make sure it flattens everything with all the things that you have done, including all the details of the flare. And then here, the HDR is more advanced, where I can talk about the radius, like super sharp strength. I can play with gamma, exposure, make it bright. Detailing, I can make it smoother. I can make it sharper, right? And I have advanced this. I'm not sure if you guys play with this. I do back then where, again, I'm involved in this Photoshop, like a photography trip where I need to make sure I'm not sure if you guys know landscape. There are two versions. Some people like those, whatever that you see through your eyes. Some people like, no, dramatic. I want to bring in the clouds details.
Right.
So that's where you use this a lot. But again, more stuff underneath here. If you want to adjust that, you know how to play with like curve and a histogram, this is how you do it, right? So plenty of tools that's already in there. It's just a matter of just go in there and like, okay, what does this do? What does this
Yeah.
do? All that. It's about exploring. So yeah, so this is like, let's see, look at history so that I can show you guys how far we have come. So this is what we have done so far. Like a snapshot here. And then this was like the original. And then this is after. So massive retouch, right? For example, the colors, the details. Look at the flare that's lighting up over here. It looks so cool. Okay, let's see. Let's do that one more time. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Right? Pretty cool. So that's one. Next.
Nice. Cool.
Okay, is there any question? I hope I'm not moving too fast.
No, we're all good. I think we're good. No questions yet, but yeah, that's a good shout out if anyone does have any questions as we're going along. I can see a bunch more tabs of different things that you want to show us, so we'll keep moving on. But yeah, guys, if you have any questions, throw them in chat.
Okay, great. And then stuff like this, right? For example, you did a photo shoot, let's say, and then you want to, color certain things. Like for example, okay, so we have this light. Okay, that looks cool. And then we have this holder that is also like transparent crystal light opener. And then you show it to your creative director, and creative director said, very nice. You spend hours and hours of time to do this photo shoot. I forgot to tell you something, and I was like, what? We've forgotten that the holder is supposed to be in a different color.
Right.
So our person who's in charge messed it up, and you go like, great, can't do another photo shoot, budget's run out. So we have to think of a way to color it. Now remember, I always like to go back and tell you guys, like, remember all the layers that we've been doing, all the coloring, Now it's time to use it. So let's create a new layer. I'll show you how. So this normal and whatever that you're seeing right here, the blending works differently depending on the material, the texture, the colors, right? And then you see things move. Like for example, this one. So my boss was saying, no, it has to look like purplish. Okay, it's fine. Let's look for a purplish color. So that might work. Okay, so we're gonna color it. Okay, now we, as a default is always under normal, and we're gonna color it. Ooh, amazing. So we're gonna go here. There are many, again, I'm showing you all the different ways to do it, okay? So you can color it like this and manually, which will take probably another half an hour. So another way to quickly select this using quick selection, right? So we're gonna go back to the original image. Press on W. So remember how we selected the entire structure of this building? So we're gonna do that here. So it's asking are you gonna select this particular, it's auto detects, by the way. It knows like there's something here. Even a group of people, it knows that you are selecting that particular person out of all the group picture. So right now I want this. Okay, so it's selected, but what did my boss want? Only the opener. So deselect these manually. Again, manual works helps a lot. And then deselect everything else. Let me see. Okay, let's look this. Oops, negative. Okay, so create a new layer already. So let's call this just color. And then now time to color it. What did I do just now? Like that. Pop, 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 pop. Great job. I'll get fired. Now we have color it and blending mode. That's when this helps. So I want you guys to just roll over and see what works the best. Oh, okay. We saw something. Good. Okay. Again, don't worry if you feel like, but it's too saturated. Like I said, you are in control. Don't worry. Move on. Oh, nice.
That's really nice. I just want to just interrupt just for 1 second, because there was a question that I missed that was from before. Manny was asking, the history button is very cool. Does it tell you what changes have been made, or can you actually click and go back to one of those history points in Photoshop?
Yeah, very good question. Okay, let's go back to the one I did was robot. Okay,
Yeah.
so if you're not so familiar with history, is that it works exactly how your control undo works, like control Z, right? Go back, go back, go back. But what I like about this history is that I can show before and after, especially when I'm doing demos and also workshops. Some people like to okay, copy merge, create a new layout and put side by side. But what I do is one thing that I like about this is that the snapshot function at the bottom here. I'm not sure if you guys can see the camera over here at the bottom,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So that works as a snapshot. At any point that you feel like, okay, I want to have an image or like more like a timestamp on that particular process, I can do so. For example, let me just go back a few steps back. This one, I can take a snapshot and it will remember up here. It will store it here. So I can go back.
I didn't know that.
So
that's very cool.
Then, yeah. And notice how my layer works. It remembers the details of it. It's not lost.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's there. There you go. Remember, this is flattened, obviously, because the HDR toning. There's no other way. You have to flatten it. So that's that. But for snapshot, we get back everything because at that point we remember that. So yeah. So snapshot is good if you are somebody who, version 1.
Yeah, I was going to say version control. It's like a hidden version control. Yeah. Within the file itself. Wow, that's really cool. Great question, Manny. And there it is. There's the thing that Ramesh has taught me that I had no idea about in Photoshop. Amazing.
Thank you for asking that question. Something that I rarely cover, but thank you so much for asking. So soft light. And then let's go back down here. We know it's going too much. Okay, so what works here is probably soft light, right? So and then you show it to your boss. Your boss like, oh wow, you're getting closer, but it's not that vibrant, right? So again, Control U in here. Because that particular layer is selected, you can control the level of saturation. So from 0, I'm going to reduce. Let's zoom in a bit more. Reduce. And then you show it to your boss. Your boss go like, this is it. Probably this is the brand color that they want to make sure that it's consistent throughout their products. But this is the way to do it, right? Like for example, within this, and then imagine your boss come back again. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you again, the liquid is supposed to be in purple. Because the adjustment has already been done, I can go in here and again manually without asking AI. If I were to ask AI to make this blue, I'm sorry, purple, it will change the structure of the entire bottle. So manual work is super important. Again, I'm just doing clumsy work here because I know there is a masking that I can do. So there you go. Done a bit of here. Again, you need to know also how bottles works, right? For example, different perspective of that, the color changes, or maybe in the middle here, which I'm gonna just make a mask and remove this area here. Sometimes the middle one don't have or whatever not. Yeah, there you go. So and then you show it to your boss. Your boss like, this is it. So yeah, so it's pretty cool. Coloring is super easy. Imagine putting these and telling your AI, change the cap to purple. Yeah. And then you need another 10,000 prompt of lines saying that, do not change anything else except for the opener. So yeah, it's super important to know that you can do it all here manually. Not sure if I have time. I only have 3 minutes, I think.
We can go a little bit over. If you want.
Yeah. Okay, Ken. Cool. Sure. So let's say you are a makeup artist and you have this. You are a retoucher. This person is somebody who wanna test out. She never wear makeup before. She don't know how she looks like if she wears a makeup. What are things that we can do to help? Again, a bit of history. Not sure if you guys know, I am not a designer. I am a pure business student. And this is how my passion towards design started. I learned how to go in there and retouch something, and that's when I know this is it. I love this job, right? So that's the starting of everything. It's exactly how the product here works just now, right? So let's add in some lipstick color, right? Here, blending modes helps a lot. Let's just make this to soft light very quick. Color pick a tone from the color palette. There you go. And then brush, make sure that you have a lower flow. And then you start coloring. And then can you see, because of the brush is soft, because knowing that the lips here is not really shortcut, isn't it? It has a very gradual blending of skin, lips to the skin. So it's important to know how to control the brush sizes and also the, what do you call? The layers blending. So there you go. By the way, I retouch. I have no idea how many thousands of image. So this is something that I enjoy doing. So
you've definitely got the flow of, because you're using a stylus, right? You've definitely got the flow of how to kind of build it over time. Yeah. Yeah.
So now we can, like I said, you own this, you know it's vibrant. Like I said, you're in control. Lower down the opacity. Let's go 0. This is nothing. So let's increase it by a bit. There you go. Right? So let's use back the exact same rate, but this time eyeshadow, right? Just a bit. And you'll be amazed, like, again, soft light. I'm changing color very quickly so that I show you guys how blending works. How about a teal? Right? Oh, sort of like a peacock color. Don't worry so much of the other details. We can always... The reason I'm showing this is because the blending works perfectly. For example, these two that we add just few seconds ago already make a drastic change. Now imagine you go crazy. How? Add in those, like, if you want to add in those cheekbones, makeup or whatever not. And then, like I said, okay, AI helps. This is how AI helps. Like, for example, I want earring, give me a earring. Right? You have no time to like copy paste from somewhere. Let's call this gold earring. Okay. So it will give you something, but remember it can be masked. So let's see. It doesn't, I hope it doesn't change the entire ear, right? Hopefully, because we just adjusted the bottom part of the earring. Let's see what kind of earring we get. This is a combination of manual work. Like I say, AI to assist you. Okay, something is not right. What is not right here, Flynn?
I don't know. I thought it looked pretty good. It seemed to have faded it in with the background a little bit.
No, it did not. It's blurry background.
Oh, is it blurred it? Oh, okay. Yeah, like it's blurred the ear. I thought it tried... I mean, maybe my brain is solving what it tried to do, but yeah, it's kind of trying to give it some depth.
Yeah.
It's blurred instead of...
Yeah, it doesn't work that way. So because of the depth of field, the earring does not work. So what you can do is you can control again. So make it a smart object. Quickly go to filter blur. Let's blur it then. There you go. To match back with the ear. There you go. In that way, then it looks real. Right?
Yep.
Because without it, then it looks like it's like floating in the air in between the ear and face.
Yep. Nice.
So blending. I don't know if I have time for these two, but I would love to say...
Pick one. I think we're good if you pick one. Yeah.
Pick one. Okay, pick one. Let's pick one. Okay, this one. Okay, so... Cool. Okay, last one. But again, manual work. Can you see this flare that's coming at the bottom here? It's not so strong. How to enhance it? Manual work. You know polygonal lasso that we always use, which is L? Let's change it to polygonal lasso. Draw a line. Sort of like this. Manual work. And then up and down, up and down, up and down. Try to create those flare. Don't worry, the one. And then let's just brush it. Again, manual work. Just change to a color, which I'm going to color pick from here. Don't worry, it looks like, oh my god, are you kidding me, Ramesh? Like, this is what you can give me the best. Okay, don't worry. All you have to do is go to blur again, Gaussian blur, and blur it. Okay, blur it, and then reduce the opacity. and then mask it at the bottom part here. So why am I showing this? Is because, again, imagine you generated this in AI and you go like, can you add a bright light? Do not change anything. Guess what? Gonna do? The eyeball of the octopus gonna look different. The perspective of the person of the diver will look slanted. But
Right.
there you go, before and after.
Nice.
And with that, we end today's stream.
We are very good. Yeah, 2 minutes or less out. That's fantastic. Yeah, so much in there, and I thank you so much for taking the questions as well. It's one of my favorite things about Adobe Live. You've got all these things set out, and I'm sure lots of people learn lots of different things and different techniques depending on what we learn and what we know. But it's always the little questions of, hey, how did you do that little thing over there? What was that shortcut? And that question from Manny showed them something that they hadn't seen before, that they had no idea existed. But also me too. I had no idea you could screenshot and then save a different version. That's really cool. I'm going to play with that.
Okay.
I love it.
Thank you so much for today's stream, guys. Oh, again, stay tuned for tomorrow.
Yeah, that's it. So do you want to give a sneak peek of tomorrow before we finish up today?
There's no sneak peek, but it will be a fastest way to create photo manipulation by your own, using AI image, but then you create your own composite. That's the
Very
case.
good. Very good. And we'll be on at the exact same time. I'm going to say goodbye before we get cut off. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Hopefully, we'll see you tomorrow and next time on Adobe Live. Thank you, Ramesh. Thank you so much.